follow. Although Flandre doesn't look like he is going back into his jungle. Waited until Sync Dream came in as well. He's got a Duran's.
Oh, breaking the freeze, potentially? Is that what he's done? Is he a genius?
He potentially is. I think he has. The first creep fell in his favor.
Oh my goodness. Taking the Pillar of Filth, which it is on that skin, of course. Pillar of Frost is now what it's called. What a god. Flandre able to get that wave pushing towards him here, and the frozen situation may not be too bad here, but the double smites heading through this jungle at rapid speed.
Yeah, it certainly is, and they can smite every single camp on their way through because it will be off cooldown pretty much whenever they want it. Lemmy going to pick himself up the Gromp, as well as we see Huey rotating down into his blue buff. Depending on how quick they go, they might even be able to transition straight away to the red because they're going pretty quickly through this.
Yeah, this could actually be the 3-buff start here for Gam. And of course, with a Nunu, the counter jungle specialist, they're going to be able to take down that red buff very, very quickly. Beast is heading over there now, so he might actually make it there first. And he's going to head back to base here as well. So he has managed to pick up level 2.
So the 2v1 is on that side of the map. So probably Wire's not going for it. Speed-wise, there definitely was no issue. Would have been able to get there, no problem. But Flandre, he's made the wave push towards him. Knows that he's probably not going to get dove because of that ward that was on the blue buff. So very smart play, stuck around, and he's going to be the beneficiary of a huge wave.
Yeah, and he's not going to be punished for it here as well as Tail. He's getting a lot of damage down onto this turret, but Flandre more than happy here. And a Trundle underneath the turret, what with his most recent buffs here as well, able to have a lot more range on that passive, gets a whole lot of his health back based on the percent health of the creep that's going to be dying. And he's going to be very happy chilling out under that turret. Hasn't used a potion, has a Doran's Blade here as well.
Yeah, it certainly does. So going to be able to get some Vamp as well coming through. We see that Beast has actually started up the first dragon with, of course, Kalista there. That's going to be an easy secure at only 4 minutes and stayed extremely healthy. Didn't pop the passive, which means that his first gank's still going to be very devastating. And Volibear, he's a strange jungle pickup, but he does some work in the early game.
Yeah, and look at the bear policeman as well. I just love it.
I love how he claps his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a really fun champion, and I'm really glad that we're seeing him back in the play as well. Of course, all of these massively tanky junglers able to utilize that Cinderhulk to such great effect. And of course, the fact that your W scales off max health as well, that execute, the massive amount of damage, he's going to be able to eat people in these fights.
Yeah, he certainly is. Like, literally, he will take bites out of champions.
He will. He will be consuming people, almost more than Huey is. Of course, who actually can. As Flandre,
well, he can't
push
consume champions. He can consume neutrals.
Yeah, okay, yeah, true.
So Huey, unfortunately, doesn't have that option available. Garmty have done a very smart thing here. They've allowed the lane to reverse off the turret, and now they're setting up the freeze, which leaves Flandre in a very difficult position. Can't really do much. And in the bottom lane, they're actually able to pick up a lot of farm for themselves. Huey does take some harass there coming through from Crystal and Alla. But they're managing to pick up a lot more farm in this 2v2. So 20 CS to the 4 of Trundle. That's hugely in his favor.
Oh my goodness, but Crystal getting some pierce damage off there as well is going to force Let Me off this turret. But you're right, 20 CS to 4, 5 times the CS in the top lane. Yeah, I can math. Thank you very much for the double thumbs up there, Spawn. Probably didn't need to let everyone know that you were being mean to me.
So we see potentially a turret dive coming through.
Oh, wow. Speaking of which, Xiaohu manages to hit the level 6 here before Barker. The Ignite ticking down. First blood. 1v1 for Xiaohu in the mid lane.
Yeah, so the 1v1 outplay on just the perfect amount of mana as well. Calculated, if nothing else, from Xiaohu.
Oh, yeah.
That is a big news story. If he can get rolling here, be able to be that solo carry to delete Crystal off the map, it's going to be nothing but good news. And already, Gamti falling out to a pretty big lead.
Yeah, they are able to definitely make that one happen. Of course, had a lead about this size in the earlier stages of the game, in the last game as well, but now they've got a cog more. I mean, they want to be able to get to this late game, and everything seems to be working out for them thus far.
But more importantly, it's Letme. He's so much further ahead than where he was at this point last time around. Flandre, on the other hand, is struggling 7-27. If they can time the wave hitting the turret with a little bit of a turret dive, Flandre's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, of course, no one else up towards this top side at the moment. Flandre pretty healthy as well, and does have the Subjugate, of course, available now. Has hit level 6, so is going to be able to get a lot of health back if he is going to get dived.
Yeah, so he certainly is, and it doesn't look like they're sending anyone up there anyway, so it doesn't matter how you pronounce it because it's just not going to happen.
Yep, no need to even worry about it, as Beast potentially going to be able to get another Scuttle Crab. Huey not going to hang around here, but this Cogmore might be in trouble. Both junglers actually heading up here as the Pillar of Filth is down. There's the flash into the throw as well into Tail. Uses the heal. Beast picks up that kill with a bite, but Letme, he's in here as well. Flandre, he wants to go aggressive here, but the Acathian surprise definitely working out. Beast, I don't think he has his passive here, as we're just going to throw in a little bit of a video in the middle of the fight, but Letme uses his empowered W. There's the passive from Beast, who's staying in this fight, but he's going to get taken down. Huey gets the kill. Flandre, he might follow after a dive. Not going to be another snowball. And Letme continues to get his health back. In Gamti, they're going to be able to take this one down. Barker actually, nice polymorph there. The Wild Growth to come through as well. Trying to turn it around to Xiaohu. The Ignite's there as well. Frozen Tomb finally available for Xiaohu, but he has no mana, no health, no flash. Has to run away, but is going to escape, and Barker almost manages to get the return kill in the mid.
Yeah, so action all over the map, and they managed to zone Flandre off that huge teleport coming through here from Flandre.
Interesting one. Huey actually going to be found here, slowed down by the Pillar of Filth. They're looking to try and trap him out, but no mana to speak of. But Huey Blood Boil's just going to wander away.
Yeah, so they went for the very cheeky pillar there, trying. Ooh, some counter jungle coming away from the double smite, so that's a good pickup coming out of Snake. He was trying to trap him against the wall with the pillar. Of course, Pillar has some really cool mechanics where if you nail it correctly, are able to pick it up, and we see that they'll pick up both blue buffs across the map. Flandre will be going for the Ravenous Hydra build on his Trundle, it looks like, so looking to pick up that Tiamat as soon as possible, and we will finally get standard lanes coming through with some more counter jungle.
Macking down on this turret. They are going to leave definitely respect here for Xiaohu as Snake are continuing to push and put pressure in this top side of the map. Pierce coming down from Crystal as well, and I love his Callista mechanics. He's so good at weaving in that queue.
Yeah, he certainly is, and the ultimate coming through here now.
Yeah, Xiaohu actually looking to pick up a kill into Crystal. Nice Monsoon going to get him out of there as well as Beast comes around. He's got so much extra health. Letme just getting destroyed. Beast picks up that one, 2-1-0 as Huey, he's caught out by Barker. Not going to get any help from the jungle here as well. And Snake, they own this top side of the map.
Yeah, and that's maybe going to be another turret in the top lane as well because they're sticking around. And this is a problem when you try and dive onto people. All the kite potential is gone. Volibear does so much mid-game damage from about 7 to 11. Just his bases alone are ridiculous, and they're going to pick out the outer turret in the mid lane, and you see straight away goes into that rolling thunder, and Huey just doesn't want to go near him.
No, you certainly don't, and you don't want to get pegged into your team as well, of course. Can just fling you back, much like Singed. Works relatively similar, but of course, his ultimate, the Thunder Claws to come through, does so much damage. And people aren't used to playing against Volibear, but that is massive AoE magic damage in a clumped up fight.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, you know, you throw the bite in there for some true damage, not to mention just the auto attacks coming through. He does a lot of surprising mixed damage. It's very hard to itemize against him. And as the game goes on and your champions level up, it kind of does it passively, which is why we don't see a lot of Volibear, because he can get...
Oh my goodness, that's the tidal wave to come through and the flash. Flandre actually looking to try and do something. Actually heading around, wants to pick up Tail if he can. Pillar of Filth there as well, and Crystal picks it up with a Ren. Beautifully played. And that target selection was stunning. Flandre just beelined towards that Kog'Maw, ignored the possible 2 other members that were heading through his jungle.
Yeah, certainly did. And now they've got the slowdown onto Zhao, who has to take that
The Glacial Path?
Glacial Path away. So, all in all, Garmty really have started to fall apart on this map. The Bloodthirst now finished off for Crystal. He's starting to level up a little bit, and they might have caught Let Me out.
Yeah, and now Flandre has a CS advantage here onto Let Me as well.
Yeah, and this Rengar pickup really not working out, you have to say.
I wanted the Warrior enchant. That would have worked. Maybe it wouldn't have either, but I definitely do get excited about that one. But Crystal is going to finish off his Bloodthirster here as well. Does have the Berserker's Greaves available. This is the first spike for a Kalista. We'll see whether he decides to go with that Hurricane as his next item. More AoE damage available, more wave clear for this Kalista, or whether it's going to be similar to Deft's Kalista, which does often build things like the Phantom Dancer as the second item. More of a single target focus for that champion. We'll see what is going to be picked up here, but Tail, he's got the Trinity Force, so this Kog'Maw still managing to get farm and get into this game, but isn't at a position that he'd be otherwise happy with at this stage, you have to think.
Yeah, definitely not. And, you know, I think that the Hurricane Kalista builds are nearly seeing the end.
Yeah.
The tankier members get, the less important it is to get that AoE damage out, and the more important it is to be able to deal with the front line, and crit is just such an important stat for that. Also allows you to go Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, and then pick up your Infinity Edge after you get your defensive item. Very smooth item build coming through there if you do go for it. So I think that we will see the end of the Hurricane build. I think that the more tanky the meta gets, just the less favorable it is.
Yeah, that's true, but it's going to be an... Ooh, actually, Crystal going to martially poise into that Aqua Prism, but Huey just going to get thrown back into the team. It is going to be the ultimate use, but Polymorph going to get him out of it. Gets slowed down by that Glitter Lance as well as Barker trying to catch up. Flandre was actually off into the backside. Doesn't even die as he used that Subjugate to get his health back here as well. And Snake, they have position around this Dragon, but their top lane are very, very low. Going to try and use that passive to try and get back up to health here on the bottom side of the map. Already up to about half. As Crystal going to push out this wave as well. Gamty looking to maybe have a go at this Dragon, pick up their first of the game. That may not be happening here as Snake, they do have a monopoly on that one. Huey might have to be careful here. Thrill of the Hunt was popped here from Let Me, but more as a defensive tool. Rolling Thunder not going to find it as Let Me going to jump into the backside, but there's the Wild Growth. Not going to find the kill onto Flandre, who's so huge in this fight. Almost has his ultimate available yet again. Oh, that Glacial Path would have been very dangerous for Zhao, who is able to get some cheeky Qs off here as well. Nice Ring of Frost to come down. Gamty, they're still in this one. Nice heal to come through from Crystal to try and give his team back some health. Huey going down solo. Sync Dream's going to die. They trade it for Beast. Huey is so low at the front of this fight. Crystal somehow still alive, but Zhao who picks up the kill. Flandre is bound to fall down. No, not even dead just yet. As Ella, he's going to try and help out his top laner. There's going to be the Frozen Domain, but I have a feeling that he's going to die to Zhao, and he does. And Gamty, they get a clean ace in the end, but that was ridiculous.
In the end, it was the fact that Let Me and Zhao had so much more pressure on Crystal than anyone had on Tail. Tail, with the superior range, was able to sit back and just lob his auto attacks at whoever was in range. Yeah, exactly right. Was just chucking on the W, spitting at everyone, and in the end, they just had a better persistent team fight. Letme was able to dance in and out when his abilities were off cooldown, is extremely tanky with his item build at the moment, and unfortunately, Flandre just isn't there. Let's take another look at it. This goes forever, but the Rolling Thunder came through, and it wasn't on a fantastic target. Huey, of course, and this is what I mean. Look at the positioning of Xiaohu and Letme on the backline, whereas no one can get near Tail. There's just so much more pressure on Crystal throughout the entirety of this fight. Tail is completely unharassed. Finally, Xiaohu pulls the trigger, goes in on this one, and is able to pick up the solo kill in the backline. And that just meant that from there, team fight was over. All the persistent threat gone from Snake, and Gamti able to pick it up.
Yeah, and actually Barker almost managing to kill Huey, but Huey with some smooth movements there, some swift footwork, able to get him to safety. This outer turret in the mid lane going to fall down for Gamti. They pick that one up off the back of the Dragon, their first of the game. And of course, the one team fight as well. And when it's a clean ace like that, that's got Gamti well back into this one.
Yeah, it certainly does. And look, they've got a fantastic scaling composition. When you have something like a Cogmore, that late game insurance policy, not to mention the fact that Xiaohu's Lissandra looks so good as we jump back into some action.
Yeah, speaking of Xiaohu's Lissandra, he is going to ult himself up here as well. Ella going to get caught out, gets slowed down to high heaven as Beast does have the passive available. There's the wild growth as well as Letme looking to try and jump into this one. Thrill the Hunt was popped, but Glacial Path again, and Gamti are getting the picks around this map that they want.
They certainly are. They need to send someone back because a lot of their base is going down. They might just rush Baron. This might be an inhibitor trade.
Yeah, might be. It depends whether Crystal is able to get down the damage in time. He's actually going to go for that Hurricane build here as well. Gamti, this is a tough gambit to throw. We'll see whether they manage to actually lock this one down. Flandre is in here as well. Glitterlance available. Flandre going to use the Subjugate here as well. He's very, very tanky, but they're ignoring him for now. There's the Frozen Domain. This Baron going down very, very low. They don't have Beast, and Huey locks down the Baron, and now Flandre is going to die as well. Barker in a fair bit of trouble. Huey's going to fall. Crystal, he's made it into the fight. Tail falls down. A Cathian surprise going to be there. The flash over the wall from Crystal. He's looking to try and make something happen. Fate's Call going to be used. Xiaohu in a lot of trouble. The double kill to come through as the mid laner falls down. Letme just wants to escape as Barker going to ult himself up. Letme, with a lot of use of that W, is able to keep himself healthy, and he's very tanky here as well as Barker might be in trouble, but the Polymorph going to save his life, and Crystal coming through to clear out this minion wave as well. And Snake, they get a lot of kills back, but that is still some Barons available.
Yeah, so one Baron, I believe, maybe
I think Sync
two.
Dream might have one.
Maybe two Barons available, but you see death in the eyes of the AD carry player. Wanted
Crystal's
nothing
mad.
to do with that. 4-1-1 has started to get going in this game as well now. And he's bringing the Hurricane out. So we'll see how it works out. There's going to be two super tanks. And they might have been caught out.
Yeah, beautiful Howling Gale from Ella is going to at least allow them to escape, but they don't get the steal onto that red buff. Tail picks that one up quite nicely here as well as Huey. Oh, they actually used the sweeping lens as well just to make sure that there was no vision available of the Snake members. Really beautifully done as Beast is going to steal away a Gromp. Of course, Snake just love killing Gromps. That is just what they want. And sort of, does snakes eat frogs? Is that a thing?
Yeah, it could.
I'm not
Depends how hungry they are.
Yeah, I guess that's true. They probably don't mind too much. But being Australian, we should probably know what snakes like to eat.
Humans.
We've got a lot of them. Humans? I hope not. I don't think it's quite the thing. But Xiaohu going to clear out this middle lane wave. Not going to push up too far, of course. Barker waiting there to eat up some of this CS, and the rest of Gamti.
Might have been caught here by Xiaohu.
Yep, does have that frozen pillar there. Pillar of Frost. But the outer turret in the top lane is going to fall down. Hurricane completed now for Crystal, able to clear out this wave with relative ease as well with the Ren sets as well as that Hurricane. And the Ravenous Hydra is done for Flandre. Has the Spectre's Cowl as well. He's going to get very tanky, and he's going to be doing a lot of damage in these fights at the same time.
Yeah, it certainly will. Doesn't have, I guess, the benefit of being able to catch up to people with the Blade of the Roaring King. Will still be very quick because of that W coming through. So we'll see how it works out for him. My fear here is the fact that there is no Tank Buster really on the lineup of Snake, and that Rengar is... He's the opposite of an assassin. He's just going to sit on you and try and wear you down with an aura that does very little damage at this point of the game.
Yeah, he's not doing a whole lot of damage, but, you know, the
persistent damage. He does very good persistent damage, actually. Rengar's bases have always been okay. Not to mention the CC he's going to get out for Tail to be able to do all the damage. He's a very real threat now.
Yeah, speaking of real threats, though, Crystal actually picked up a Last Whisper as well as Sync Dream. He's going to get caught out. Crystal picking up another kill for that one. As the rest of Gamty might need to be careful now. There's a lot of engage to come through, especially from that Fate's Call, but the Glacial Path going to get Xiaohu to safety over the wall, and Ella just looking to try and scout out for some more potential targets here as Barker is there. There's 5 members now in the mid lane, but only 4 now alive as the Rolling Thunder comes through. Doesn't want to find Huey here as the Thrill of the Hunt has been popped. Let Me looking to come in here and does stop Beast in his tracks, but of course has the passive available. Wild Growth's there as well. This can be a very tanky bear if they need him. And Sync Dream now alive again, trying to get back with his team. But Gamty, they're looking to push, and Flandre, he wants none of it, looking to try and get in here. There's the Wild Growth as well. So much knocking about of the Gamty members. As Xiaohu going to get aggressed on, but it's going to be Crystal falling down first. The Cogmore with so much damage. Barker going to get Blade of the Ruined King. His Tail looks to go aggressive, but the rest of Snake, they're trying to get out. Tail getting slowed down by everything here as Huey now in a bit of trouble, but the bottom lane dead in trade for the mid laner. And with that Frozen Tomb down, Xiaohu, he's done his job.
Yeah, exactly right. Able to get in there. They're looking to go. Great bubble.
Beautiful Acro Prison is going to be used there by Sync Dream, but not able to get the kill onto Beast as Huey is in a lot of trouble. Actually, Tail tanking up this turret as well. There's the lock into the wall as well as Beast with the hero play. Oh, almost survives that one as well, but Barker, he's going to fall down. Flandre looking for the kill, finds it onto Tail. A Cathian surprise. It's going to pick that one up as the double kill comes through, and now Snake with their bottom lane alive, looking to try and get back here, but the Dragon looking to be Gamties, and these fights are ridiculous.
They need to be so careful right now. Kalista is there. This could be another triple kill potentially.
There's
They're
no
backing
damage.
away. There is zero damage.
Absolutely nothing. That's 2 Cinder Hulks. I guess that's something, but Crystal looking to go aggressive. Let Me is going to get knocked up here a little bit. Tidal Wave going to come through. Oh, actually, Glacial Path not going to be used. They're just going to secure the Dragon with both of their smites and a Consume. That's a lot of lockdown on that Dragon. And Crystal going to take a Consolation red buff, but that is going to be an evening out of the Dragons. Let's see this again.
Yeah, so they go in extremely aggressive. Good Fate Call came through, but it's all about Xiaohu. He's able to get onto Crystal again, and he just does so much damage at this point of the game. Once again, because the front line is completely bypassable on the Snake lineup, if you're going to be honest, Tail can just run past them. He has absolutely no fear of them at this point in the game, and from there you've got Tail free hitting Xiao, who completely destroying your carry, the probably fed member on your lineup that everything revolves around. It's just bad news in these 5v5 team fights for Snake. You feel in a split push situation. Flandre still probably ahead of Let Me. Probably, maybe can't kill him, but is bringing a lot more to the table in terms of wave clear.
I've got a conspiracy for you as well, just in the middle of the point, is that Flandre has now played back-to-back Shyvana Trundle, and he built a Hydra on Trundle as well. I think he's Darien.
Maybe.
I think it actually might be Darien. Of course, we have seen that it is in fact Flandre there, but it's the spirit of Darien coming through here. That's my feeling. Anyway, back to your point.
I can't even remember what I was talking about. So
yeah, because that has bent your mind so much?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. Mind blown.
I know.
By this 138 Trundle, who isn't really doing much in a team fight situation.
Darien! See? Perfect. Anyway, Snake looking to try and get some control around this Baron, which is going to be available in another 10 seconds as well. QSS, very importantly, is being completed by Crystal at the same time. So this Kalista able to actually nullify that that Glacial Prison. Not Glacial Prison, that is, of course, Sejuani's ult. That is the Frozen Tomb that's going to be coming through from Xiaohu. Pillar of Filth there onto Huey, but just going to slow him down a little bit. Not going to be too worried. Yeah,
you see how quickly Trundle moves with that Whimsy on him. So trying to get him into the back line, be that disruptive force. But now that the Last Whisper has been picked up from this Cogmore, Tail's going to be doing very meaningful damage in this fight.
Actually, Crystal able to take away that big Raptor as well. Definite win here on the board for the Kalista. Barker almost with that Void Staff available as well as Flandre. He's got a Spirit Visage. That is a big deal item for Trundle.
Yeah, it certainly is, especially because of how his passive and his ultimate works. If they can zone them off this Baron here, and for whatever reason it goes down to Snake, Flandre will nearly full heal off that just because of how his passive works.
I believe he actually died before the Baron fell. Oh no, it was after. It was after. In that last fight. Didn't actually see him get too much health back from that passive, and now just going to use this Hydra to try and clear out this wave. Frozen Domain there available, setting up for a potential area to fight, and Crystal going to have to be very careful in this next one, because it's all on him, you have to think. Trying to get the consistent damage around with that Hurricane, trying to make things work out here. As you see, actually there's the red buff score as well. A lot of blue buffs actually available for Snake.
Yeah, Snake have been able to steal away the blue buff because of their superior control over the bottom side of the map a lot of the time. And
don't quite have as many smites, though, which is the interesting part.
Half the smites.
Half
twice the blue buffs.
Whoa.
Snake Gaming.
Ridiculously well played. You're going to see this one come through. Actually, Flandre fell down. Beast as well. Crystal, of course, survives, but Gamty looking to start off this Baron as well. It is a 5v3 situation, but they still have to be careful. The Kalista is still alive, and there's a lot of poke to come through from this Lulu, but they're not going to go for a steal because, of course, there's so many opportunities for Gamty to secure this one. And Gamty, the second Baron now, but only a 2,000 gold lead.
Yeah, so only a 2,000 gold lead coming through for them at this point in the game. They weren't able to keep all their members alive with the Baron buff, so it's a little bit more meaningful this time as we see Let Me going into a split push scenario where he probably doesn't do much to creeps unless he's spamming all of his buttons, as we will see here.
He's trying his best to kill some creeps. That Q's doing absolutely nothing, but the Baron up creeps are really going to help out
He's
here.
just missed 3 creeps in that wave.
Well, it's really hard when you'd only do about 12 damage to a creep. Very, very difficult. Barker going to clear out this wave. Glitterland's doing a whole lot of a better job clearing out these creeps as well.
And I want to see if he eventually does go for a more damage-heavy item. It looks like he will pick up a Spirit Visage for himself for some added cooldown reduction in his build, as well as maybe a Warmog's armor coming through from that Giant's Belt. But
what else is he going to build?
Trinity Force? I think he might grab a Trinity Force as the last item, potentially. Maybe a Thornmail, you're right.
We'll see what he does decide to go with his Gamty. Are going to put a lot of pressure onto this inner turret, just getting shredded by Tail.
He's picked himself up another Zeal. We can just hit on Kog'Maw's build a little bit. Phantom Dancer is such a good item because it allows him, he gets some attack speed off his Q, but it puts him near max. And with how the W works with attack speed, it just allows you to absolutely burn through it. The troubling thing is if he doesn't go a defensive item, he can grab the Infinity Edge, but you really do need that in a Kog'Maw build, so he might have to swap something out. It's why I really don't like Last Whisper on Kog'Maw. I feel that you can just get enough work done on the tanks without having to pick up that item. And if Phantom Dancer instead of Last Whisper just puts you so much ahead of the curve.
Yeah, Let Me does have his teleport available, is on the top side now, pushing that one out. You can see Xiaohu there on the bottom side of the map, but of course doesn't have the teleport. Snake looking for an out rotation here, heading towards the mid lane. Do have the wave ready.
They're getting collapsed on. They're in a lot of trouble here.
Yeah, it's going to be scary. 5 members are grouped up here for Snake, but they're getting flanked by Let Me. Thrill the Hunt is available. He's popped it now as well, looking to try and get a flank from the backside. Huey gets slowed down by that pillar. And actually, Xiaohu right into the middle of the fight, tombs himself up. He's got the Zhonya's Hourglass available as well, but Beast is just ripping through these members. He is going to fall down low, uses the Zhonya's. Let Me now trying to do some work as Flandre actually flashes over to the side. There's going to be the pillar as well and kills Xiaohu, who takes down Beast in the backside of this one as well. Let Me, Flandre actually dodging out of the way. Crystal, the rest of the members of Snake are still alive, trying to catch up. And Flandre wants to try and get something done. Frozen Domain's there. Oh my goodness, almost survives, but Tail able to catch up. And of course, the slows available for Huey are a little bit too big. And It's a 1-for-2 yet again in this fight, but where was the rest of Snake?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Tail just flashing on top of Crystal, but he turns it around, picks up the kill. Huey now trying to get on top of him. Let Me takes down the AD carry, but that again is all of the damage dead on the side of Gamty. It's the danger of a 2-damage comp, and Let Me is going to get knocked up here as well. Barker looking to turn it around, does pick up the double now as well, because he is the only member on the map with any sort of damage statistic.
Yeah, whatsoever in that situation. You saw that Tail went extremely aggressive and just wasn't able to burn through all the shields that came through. So in the end, Snake take the team fight. They might even take a Dragon for their trouble, although looking for potentially a blue buff on top of that. No, they'll just back away. Complete reset. Flandre, that minion wave is way too juicy for any top laner ever to ignore.
Yep, not going to be ignoring that one. Does have his Frozen Heart completed. That is huge. That is what he managed to pick up after he fell down in that last fight.
And he becomes unkillable when he ults people. You saw in that last extended chase that as soon as Flandre ults one of the tanks, he just becomes completely immovable.
Yeah, and he can ult either Huey or Let Me as well, because Let Me going for this massive tanky build, and it just gives Flandre the ability to subjugate either of those two and become the biggest beast in the history of Trundles.
Yeah, exactly right. We see, speaking of Let Me, has finished up that Spirit Visage, is going towards a Warmog's armor next. Will he go for, I guess, the Thorn Mail or maybe an offensive item? Oh, good pillar coming through from Flandre. They're in a better position for this Dragon this time around, but the team fights are still so close.
Yeah, and Xiaohu has just been playing so incredibly well. Almost has the Rabbidan's Death Cap available as well. Has gone for more of the sort of damage build with the Sorcerer Shoes instead of the Lucidity Boots. Doesn't have the 40% CDR, but is going to be getting the blue buffs here as well, as Gamty have actually started off the Dragon. Snake looking to try and contest this one. Aqua Prison onto Flandre, who's going to be in a bit of trouble here. Glacial Path going to come through. Barker going to get out of here, but Crystal able to use that QSS. There's the Zhonya's as well. Flandre huge in the backside. Beast as well, but there's the Cogmore dead as Flandre looking to pick up the kills, and look at what happens when the Callista's able to auto-attack. Ridiculous stuff. Let Me's gonna die as well, and they'll even get the Dragon at the same time. Sync Dream prevents the ace, but what is the Fish gonna do against this?
Yeah, that's Game Atlas. They're gonna move into the bottom lane. That wave is absolutely massive. Will be enough for the turret. Will probably be enough for the Nexus turrets, and we were complimenting how well Gamty were playing these team fights, but in the end, it's all about Snake being able to get the one team fight that matters. They'll skip into the base. Crystal chunking out these structures, and that was extremely well played.
Beautifully played, and they knew that that's all that they needed. Just needed to pick up that one fight. They grab it, and they're able to finish the game off the back of it. No breaking the base necessary. They just win a Dragon fight and steamroll the base.
Yeah, so in the end, Snake able to pick up the 2-0. Looked good for a moment there, but that will put Snake back into second place over OMG.
Yeah.
And they did it with a good team comp game one, I'm going to say. A little bit of craziness game two. They've always excelled in crazy team fights, so why not throw something like that out there?
Yeah.
But maybe a little bit too close for comfort.
Yeah, a little bit. Of course, the Trundle not quite working out to the way they wanted to in the early stages of the game.
No, it just didn't work out at all.
Okay. Well, I just like Trundle. So I'm excited about it.
I'm going to put it out there. Volibear was a better pick than Trundle that game.
And you know that things are going wrong when you're able to actually say that. But Crystal, again on the Callista, when able to be his incredible mechanical self in a team fight, just showed there at the very end that he's able to single-handedly carry these team fights.
Yeah, and Barker, he played 2 champions. He played the Azir, he played the Lulu.
Yeah,
of course,
that is more than his entire champion pool that we thought.
They're not new champions. We've seen him play them before, but on this patch, they've come back in, and he pulled them off. So he was able to put a pretty good performance together in a couple of games as well.
Yeah, really well played. And Snake, they managed to clinch the 2-0, but we're only halfway through tonight's games, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be back after this short break with M3 taking on Invictus Gaming.